For tens of thousands of years, wolves were apex predators, smart, social, and relentless. But today, their closest living relatives often wear sweaters, sleep on couches, and wait patiently for belly rubs. This is their story, a story of transformation, a story of influenced evolution, a miracle shaped by humans, whether we meant to or not. Rewind the clock some 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. Humans were hunter-gatherers, roaming Ice Age Europe and Asia. Survival was brutal, but in the shadows beyond their campfires, another creature lurked, the grey wolf. For a long time, we were competitors, even enemies. Both species hunted similar prey, both lived in tight-knit social groups, and both were smart. But somewhere something changed. Some wolves were bold enough or desperate enough to scavenge from human settlements, and in return, those who were less aggressive, less fearful, more curious survived. The most human-tolerant wolves got fed, their genes passed on. This was not planned. No one decided to domesticate wolves, but unintentionally, humans began selecting traits just by existing. This was the beginning of influenced evolution. This process, which scientists call self-domestication, created a feedback loop. Wolves that were friendlier thrived around people. Over generations, they began to change, not just in behavior, but even physically. Smaller skulls, floppier ears, curly tails. Changes we now call the domestication syndrome. As these proto-dogs evolved, they started to look different from their wild cousins, less threatening and more approachable. In 1959, Russian scientist Dmitry Belayev began a secret experiment to study the process of influenced evolution in real time. His experiment was later called the Silver Fox Domestication Experiment. The method was simple. Only foxes which was least aggressive towards humans were allowed to breed. A decade later, Mechta was born, the first fox to have floppy ears. The domesticated foxes started having juvenilized facial characters, including a shorter, rounder snout. 6 decades later, we see astonishing results. Foxes that are not only stress-free around unknown humans, but literally craving human affection. Some foxes even started wagging tails and licking faces of their human owners. That's what happened with dogs. It was no accident, but no one controlled it either. It was a symbiotic dance of co-evolution. But the human-dog story is not just about tolerating each other. It is an alliance filled with mutual trust. Imagine being a hunter in a frozen wasteland. You track prey for hours. Your early dog companion can smell it before you see it, can chase, can help you bring it down. Dogs became invaluable allies. They could guard camps, ever vigilant and alert to danger, and even provide warmth on cold nights. The Australian idiom, 3-dog night, comes from how many dogs you needed to sleep beside you to survive the cold. The earliest confirmed dog burial is about 14,000 years old. A human and a dog buried together. Similar burials were getting discovered all over the planet. This wasn't just utility. This was love, partnership, bond. That's when dogs stopped being just animals and became something more. Once dogs entered human society, we began to shape them, deliberately this time. Over thousands of years, we bred them for hunting, herding, guarding, and companionship. Every dog breed you see today is a result of intense guided evolution. We created scent hounds like the bloodhound with noses that can track for miles. Herding breeds like border collies able to interpret whistles and gestures. Toy breeds bred solely for affection and size. This is artificial selection, where we consciously breed for traits we find desirable, and it produced more diversity in dogs than in any other mammal species on Earth. Think about that, the vast diversity. From a tiny Pomeranian to a massive Irish Wolfhound, all share the same ancestor, the grey wolf. All were shaped by humans. Their DNA confirms it. Dogs are not descended from jackals or coyotes. They are wolves, genetically altered through generations of selections. This is evolution, influenced by human hands, but not in a lab, in fields, in camps, in homes. But why do we love dogs so deeply? Why do they love us? Science shows that dogs evolved not just to work with us, but to connect with us emotionally. They look into our eyes and trigger oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds mothers to babies. They understand our gestures better than even chimpanzees. They read our faces, our moods, our fears. This isn't just training, it's biology. Puppies, even those never trained, instinctively follow where we point. That's unique. Wolves don't do that, even hand-raised ones. Something happened in their evolution, a rewiring, built for connection. Dogs didn't just become domesticated animals, they became social partners. Today, dogs are everywhere. Working dogs assist the blind, detect seizures, find survivors after disasters, sniff out explosives, comfort the anxious. They serve, they protect, they heal. But we also shaped them to depend on us. Unlike wolves, most dogs cannot survive alone. We didn't just change them, they also changed us. We evolved alongside them. Humans who coexisted with dogs had better survival odds, better hunting, better protection, more security. The dog-human bond became an evolutionary advantage. But with such power to shape life comes responsibility. Think about breeding of pugs. The majority of them suffer serious breathing problems due to shorter nostrils and flat faces. Often they need operation to lead a healthy life. Hip dysplasia, a severe form of arthritis of the hip joint, is almost a pandemic for certain breeds like golden retrievers, bulldogs, rottweilers, and German shepherds. The major cause of this suffering is genetic, indicating uncontrolled breeding. We must ask, are we continuing to influence evolution wisely? Because dogs gave us everything: loyalty, love, protection. We owe them a future where they can thrive, not just survive. The miracle isn't just in what we made, it's in the ongoing story we continue to write together.